In this video, we're going to create the most insane villager trading hall ever, filled with all the villagers that we're ever going to need, and a few farms in order to get tons of emeralds. Now, the first thing I do is place a schematic down. If you didn't know, I am using Lightmatica. It's a very useful mod, and it just helps you with creative buildings that you've designed. Now, I'm just flattening the area so we can start building. So the first thing I want to do is build a villager breeder. So I get the farm set up. I put in some carrots so the villagers can collect them. I set up some glass walls around it. Then I place in rails so we can move the villagers. So I moved the villagers from our little pen that I had set up all the way to the villager breeder, so we could breed them. I released them from their cage, and I also set up the bed so the farm actually works. So I collected some oak and some spruce in order to start actually building some of the villager areas. I'm only going to build 1/4 because I need to start up on emeralds and some better books so I can really start collecting materials for the build. Time to get our first little villager in there. We want a ton of these guys so we can get a ton of emeralds using our iron farm. So I went ahead and filled a bunch of them in there, but now the villager breeder is still working. We want books. I then made a list of all the books I needed and went through collecting every single one of them. I broke hundreds of lecterns, but and it took a while, but finally I got all of them so we can really get geared up so we can continue collecting materials. I got all the villagers right here. The next thing I want to work on though is a melon and pumpkin farm so we can get tons of emeralds. I already had pumpkins, so I needed to take a quick trip to the jungle so I could get some melons. I also needed a ton of quartz, which is the longest I spent in the nether. It was absolutely terrifying. Here it is all built. I would have made a time lapse for it, but it corrupted or something. I can't find it. So here's the time lapse, a little villager area. Yeah, that's so much better. But here we're going to carry our farmer villager so we can actually trade the melon and pumpkins. Now we got all of that set, we actually have to upgrade a few of these villagers so we can trade melons and pumpkins for them. So here's me, I did a few of them. I actually did 15, but I ain't going to show you all of them because it's very repetitive. But I finally got them all upgraded and we're going to make a ton of emeralds. Okay, I set up all of these chests so that we can put our materials in and actually start collecting stuff for this build. So hopefully we can start. The first thing I want to do before we start the actual build is to get all of the villager spots set up. I didn't film with villagers, but I got all the spaces in there, and I think that's going to help in the long run for later. I need to smell a lot of stone for the build, so I made this. It's time to start the material gathering montage. I'm hyped. Let's go. Okay, I finally got all the materials I need to build, including all of the stone, which took the most amount of time, there's actually a giant stone hole right here. This hours. Now that I finally have all the materials, it's time for this time lapse. Now I wanted to work on the interior, and I need a lot of bricks for it, so I set up some mason villagers so I could get tons of bricks, because collecting it by hand would have been increasingly difficult. As you can see, I cleared out all the chests, and I also added this little wooden bit right here. I'm put lights in the floor, that's why there's holes in it. But I'm gonna fill these walls in first, because I'd rather like hide the farms and stuff. They don't like look great, so I'm just gonna cover them up. Okay, I put in all the floors. Now I'm going to work on these top areas, like above the villagers. And I did all of them. They're kind of like balcony looking things. I also set up all the lights in this area. And now I'm just going to dig out the floor and put some texture in there. Okay, the last and final thing. I set all the emeralds I have collected into the middle of this area as like a giant monument. Now that everything's done, I think it's time for one of those cinematic shots of everything we've done in this video. So, let's just check it out. And obviously I had to put shaders on. Okay, that will conclude this entire video. I've spent hundreds of days on this. Well, 200 days. It was more like 190, but I don't know what I'm going to do in the next 9 days. So, but I would like to thank you for watching. I spent a lot of time on this video, and if you liked the video, please like the video, and if you want to see more, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next video.